Do you keep putting things off, thinking I'll do it later? Let's be honest, later rarely comes. We've all been there, staring at a mountain of to-dos, feeling overwhelmed and paralyzed. That, my friend, is procrastination in its finest form. But don't worry, you don't have to let laziness run your life. Today I'm going to share 5 simple tips to help you overcome that sluggish feeling and take control of your life. Are you ready to kick laziness to the curb? Let's do this. The first step to conquering any challenge, big or small, is to simply start. I know that sounds way easier than it actually is, right? But trust me on this one. We often get stuck because we overthink things. We imagine this massive, overwhelming task ahead of us, and it completely zaps our energy before we even begin. So how do we combat that feeling of overwhelm? We start small. Think of it like this. Instead of trying to run a marathon on day 1, you start by lacing up your shoes and walking around the block. What's something small you can do right now, like literally right this second towards a goal? Maybe it's finally clearing off that one corner of your desk that's been driving you nuts, or replying to that email you've been avoiding. Remember, you don't have to do it all at once. Just take that first tiny step. And once you're done, guess what? You get to celebrate that win. Because every little victory, no matter how small, builds momentum. And that momentum, my friend, is what's going to propel you forward. Now that you've taken those first few steps, it's time to figure out where you're headed. What are your goals? And I don't mean vague, wishy-washy goals like be happier or make more money. We're talking about specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goals. Write them down. Having a clear vision of what you want to accomplish is like having a compass guiding you towards your destination. But it's not enough to just set goals. You need to break them down into smaller, more manageable steps. Remember how we talked about starting small? This is where it really comes into play. Think of it like climbing a mountain. You don't just teleport to the top, do you? You climb one step at a time, and each step gets you closer to your goal. So grab a notebook and jot down those goals. What do you want to achieve, and what are the small steps you can take each day to get there? Chapter 3. Silence the noise, eliminating distractions. Okay, so you've started small, you've set your goals, and you're ready to take on the world. But wait, is that your phone buzzing? Oh look, a notification that your favorite YouTuber just uploaded a new video. Sound familiar? We live in a world overflowing with distractions. And those distractions are productivity's biggest nemesis. Think about your typical day. How much time do you spend scrolling through social media, watching TV, or getting sidetracked by things that aren't actually important? It's time to take back control of your time and attention. Start by identifying your biggest distractions. Is it your phone, social media, email? Once you know what's holding you back, you can start to create boundaries. Put your phone on airplane mode while you're working. Use website blockers to prevent yourself from getting sucked into the black hole of social media. Remember, focus is a muscle that needs to be trained. The more you practice eliminating distractions, the easier it will become. Chapter 4, the 5-minute rule. Outsmarting your inner procrastinator. We all have that little voice in our heads that tells us to put things off. It whispers sweet nothings of procrastination, promising that we'll have more energy later, or that the task will magically be less daunting tomorrow. But here's the thing, that voice is a liar. It's the voice of resistance, and it's holding you back from reaching your full potential. So how do we silence that pesky voice? We use the 5-minute rule. Here's how it works. Pick a task you've been avoiding. You know the one I'm talking about. Now set a timer for 5 minutes and promise yourself you'll work on that task, and only that task, for those 5 minutes. That's it, 5 minutes. You can do anything for 5 minutes, right? Here's the funny thing about the 5-minute rule. More often than not, once you start working on something, you'll find that you actually want to keep going. That initial resistance will melt away, and you'll be amazed at what you can accomplish. Chapter 5. The Power of Celebration. Rewarding yourself for a job well done. We often focus so much on the end goal that we forget to celebrate the small wins along the way. But celebrating your progress is crucial for staying motivated and keeping that momentum going. Think about it. When you achieve a goal, big or small, your brain releases dopamine, which makes you feel good. And when you feel good, you're more likely to repeat the behaviors that led to that feeling. So how do you celebrate your wins? It doesn't have to be anything big or expensive. Treat yourself to your favorite coffee after a productive morning of work. Take a long, relaxing bath after a particularly challenging day. Buy yourself that book you've been eyeing after reaching a milestone. The key is to find rewards that are meaningful to you and that will motivate you to keep going. Remember, you deserve to celebrate your successes. Outro, you got this. So there you have it, 5 simple tips to help you overcome laziness and take control of your life. Remember, it's not about being perfect. There will be days when you fall back into old habits, and that's okay. Pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and start again tomorrow. Action cures laziness. Start small, stay consistent, and watch yourself grow. You've got this.